Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? Let you guys get up in the building, man. Y'all hit that thumbs up on your way in. Been trying to go live, man, for like 20, 30 minutes now. Streamlab, for whatever reason, would not let me go live, man. I don't know what's up, so I'm gonna have to deal with just a black screen today. Y'all hit that thumbs up on your way in, man. Let me know who up in here. Retros for Life 79 Boxing. What's up, man? Man, it's a good upcoming heavyweight fight, man. That's been on my mind. I've been watching these. Went back and watched pretty much all their fights today, and that's this Jared Anderson taking on Kingsley Ibeh fight that's coming up on ESPN Plus on February 13th. Intriguing matchup, man. And I know a lot of people that's behind Jared Anderson right now. He looks like the next best thing. But this is a tricky fight right here, man. I want to break it down with you guys. Let me see who's up in here. My man Michael Johnson, Boxing Talking More, what's up? St. Cruising, what's good? Hey Susan, what's up, man? So last night, we seen Michael Coffey go in there and take care of business, man. That's how you step up on a, nationally televised fight. Give me a second here. A nationally televised fight like that, you want to step up and deliver a knockout, man. We know the heavyweights, well, especially in today's era, aren't really known for, great skill sets as, some of the smaller weight class guys like a Terrence Crawford, so on and so forth. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to see a knockout happen. And that's what people want to see. Not just, casuals, but the hardcores too. I'm a hardcore boxing fan for over, approaching 35 years, man. I love a damn knockout as well, Don't get me wrong. I like the technical parts of the game and the strategic parts, but I like a good knockout. And that's what Coffey stepped up and was able to do. Gregory X, what's up, man? Y'all definitely hit that like button. We're going to break it down. Try to let a few more people get up in here. And then, D. Oblianuli, what's up, man? He said you're going to quickly recap the Damani Rock fight. I missed it. So pretty much, man, both guys came out. I actually did called it play-by-play last night, but pretty much in a nutshell, man, both guys, the first 2 rounds, kind of feeling each other out, probing and using the jab. And then the 3rd round, that was the round that Coffey came out being super aggressive. Rock came out being super aggressive, trying to press Coffey against the ropes. Actually got him on the ropes. And then he started to get touched in the inside with uppercuts that he didn't see. And once that problem started, he couldn't get rid of it, man. He didn't know what to do. He should, now looking at in hindsight, he should have just held and clenched on the inside till the ref broke him, because he didn't know what was waiting for him. And it was some good uppercuts. And then he got dropped. He got up. Then he got caught with a nice little choppy short left hook off the side, off the temple area, and got dropped again. And then they stepped in and stopped the fight. But Coffey was very relaxed in there, man. Especially for a guy. And I'm gonna get to Kingsley Ibeh in a minute, because he's kind of similar to Coffey in a way. But these dudes that are coming in with literally either no amateur background or maybe 3 or 4 fights as an amateur, and they're coming in just natural athletes that just know how to just naturally fight. And guys are just blessed with heavy hands and pretty decent chins, man, for guys coming from other sports. But Coffey very relaxed and fights almost veteran-like, and that's due to, it's not due to the amateur pedigree, right? Because it's non-existent, except when he pretty much had 2 weeks to train for his first Golden Gloves a few years ago that he didn't know he was even signed up for. His Marine Corporal, he told him that he signed him up and made him fight, told him that, hey man, I already paid for it, so you got to fight, got no choice, I already paid for this shit. And he goes in there and wins his first amateur fight by knockout. And then his second amateur fight, he beats Nicozy Solomon, who was the #1 rated super heavyweight in the country at the time. You know what I'm saying? So this somebody, and then a year later, a few months down the road, he turns pro. But to me, what's got him so relaxed is those training camps that he's been in, the Deontay Wilder camps. the Konaki camps. He's been in 5 of those. Jarrell Miller camps, Thomas Adamat camps, Marco Huck. So he gained experience that way, the hard way. And we talk about grown man strength and all that. And he's 34 years old, man. So he didn't turn pro as a pup. He turned pro at 31. So just a naturally gifted guy, man. Michael Coffey. Xavier, the boxing nerd. He says, I know it isn't heavyweight talk, but what did you think of Plant? I wasn't overly impressed with Caleb Plant, but again, look, man, sometimes as fans, we're too hard on guys when they're not getting, especially those guys that know how to survive, just tough, experienced guys, man. They're just not easy. It's not to just, how could Canelo capitalize on a fight like that with Plant? So that's what I was looking at. But as far as domination, I mean, it was easy work. Easy work. I appreciate that $5 holler from my man Carlos Herneca, man. I appreciate that. Trignoti, salute. Salute Trignoti, Gregory X up in here. All right, look. Oh, D.W. Newley, what happened to Nkosi Solomon? He hasn't fought in a while, man. He lost that his pro debut, which is, embarrassing whenever a hyped up prospect, goes in there and loses their pro debut, man. That was not a good look, but he, has been able to pick up 2 victories after. But that's been it. And he turned pro in 2018. I believe that was on the card with Jarrell Miller and Adamak. I think Jesse Vargas fought Delorme that night. So this was a couple years ago, man. Haven't heard from him since. So hopefully he gets back in the ring, man. He was a damn good amateur, rated #1 in the country for a few years, so. All right, man. Let me get to connection not good. Jesus, can y'all hear me? Before I start cooking on this fight that's coming up February 13th between Jared Anderson and Kingsley Ibeh. Clear? All right. Appreciate that, St. Cruising. All right, so, man, now you guys just heard me talk about Michael Polite Coffey and his journey to pro boxing. Kingsley Ibeh pretty much is similar. Now, he's only 27. He's not as old as Coffey, but he's only 27. And the way he got boxing, the way he got into the boxing is pretty damn funny, man. So literally, he turned pro, August of 2019. So he's been pro for about 16 months. No amateur experience. No, he was the king of the hill, sparring at a gym in his hood. None of that. Just literally, he walked into a boxing gym 16 months ago to sell insurance, because he sells insurance, right? Former football player. He made it to the CFL, the Canadian Football League. There is some footage of him online doing some defensive end and defensive tackle drills, and this dude's a damn good athlete, man. Damn, I mean, you go look at that footage, you can't tell me this boy can't move. And then there's some other footage of him jumping boxes and doing plyometrics and lifting weights and all that. So I'm not so surprised now. Now that you hear his backstory, it's like, oh, that's why Guido Vanello had a damn hard time against him, and all these other guys that they try to bring him in on short notice, and I'll get to that in a second. All right, I want to break this all down. It's bouncing in and out sometimes. Oh, shit. All right, man, I'll try to do the best, man. I'm out and about right now, so that's why. All right, but so the way he joined boxing, again, he was trying to sell insurance, and the guy he was trying to sell insurance to is his damn trainer now. So that would have been interesting to hear how that whole discussion went, going from trying to sell somebody life insurance to training them to be a fighter. All right, so that's how he ended up in a boxing gym literally 16 months ago. All right, off the football field and selling insurance. All right, so he does that. So then, he turns pro, and they want to obviously bring him in as an opponent, right? He doesn't have an Olympic background. He wasn't a standout amateur. It wasn't none of that. So they're just bringing him in as an opponent. And he fought 3 times in the bubble last year for 2020 in the COVID. He fought 3 times on ESPN in the bubble, and he made the best of it, man. He got on ESPN. Well, he's 5-1-1. All right, the one loss, he revenged it on ESPN. It was a split decision loss. Could have went either way. Some thought he really won the fight, but he got to revenge that guy. What was that dude's name? Waldo Acosta. He got to fight him again on ESPN, And then literally the next week on ESPN, they had another live telecast. They brung him back to fight an undefeated guy. Who was that guy's name, man? I want to say Patrick Mailata, and the Mailata guy had been in Marco Huck training camps, and Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker and all these guys. He was 4-0. Believes from New Zealand, right? So he fights him a week later, right? Beats him, upsets him, right? Then they try to get him back on ESPN 19 days later, but he tested positive for COVID, so they can bring him in against one of their house fighters, another guy like Jared Anderson that they're pushing, undefeated up-and-comer, Guido Vianello, Olympic background, amateur pedigree. He's the other heavyweight that they're pushing, ESPN, young guys. So they bring him in for him, and it ends up in the draw, and Kingsley should have won that fight. Bro, he should literally be 7-0 with 4 knockouts right now. You know what I mean? So they try to bring him in for 19 days notice to fight Vianello, but Kingsley tests positive for COVID. So they pushed the fight back for October of last year, and they fight, and then you see what happened. So that's 3 fights within like 26 or shit, well, longer than that because that fight got pushed back. But literally, man, 3 fights within a couple months, a few months for this guy that's 5-1-1 that nobody's ever heard of. And before I get to the style breakdowns and all that, now let me get to Jared Anderson. Totally different, right? He's 21 years old as opposed to Kingsley, who's about 6 years his senior. I think he's about 27. He's 21, okay? Now, 2015, 2016, 17, and 18, he wasn't on no football field. He wasn't selling no insurance. Well, he was a lot younger as a fucking teenager, but he was whooping ass in the rings, in the amateur system, all right? He won the U.S. Nationals for super heavyweight 4 years in a row. All right, so this dude can fight his ass off. Tyson Fury training camps. Fury said great things about this young man. Now, let's break down the mental makeup a little bit. Now, I heard Andre Ward bring up Jared Anderson. He was talking about Jared Anderson's body. And man, it was either the fight, because I've seen Anderson fight 4 times on ESPN. He fought the Langston cat, the black dude that was Southpaw Langston. I seen him fight Rodney Hernandez, who on paper I thought was his toughest test going into that fight. He fought him, and then he also fought, who else did he fight on ESPN? I'm doing this freestyle too, man. He fought Langston, Perez, Pena, and Hernandez. Those are the 4 I've seen, and all those were in the bubble. So now you got Kingsley and Anderson who are making the best of this whole bubble situation. We've seen these guys 4 times and 3 times respectfully. So in that way, it's almost like a build up to this fight, right? Damn near the way Tuesday night fights used to do it back in the day when they would have, you know, kind of under the radar heavyweights squaring off against each other that'd be on their network for, you know, 2, 3, 4 fights in a row, then pair them up. So I like the way that they're doing this, but I'm not tripping. I know that they're bringing Kingsley in as an opponent, although he could literally be 7-0, man. All right, now, again, like I said, Jared Anderson, then he was in some international dual meets. He was in the, I think when they went out there to fight Germany, he was on Team USA. So a lot of amateur background for these young kids. So age-wise, grown man strength. Yeah, and that's what I was getting to. I heard Andre Ward bring up grown man strength, one of his fights. And I was watching the replay, and I'm like, man, if there's one thing that Kingsley Ibeh has, that's all his grown man strength. That's what I will say about that, all right? But again, though, he's lacking that ring experience. Unlike a Coffey, who doesn't have the amateur, you know, background, he still has that experience over the last couple of years of being in all those guys who I named training camps, Deontay Wilder, Kanaki, Jarrell Miller, so on and so forth. Kingsley doesn't have that. He just has a heart, blessed to be with some damn heavy hands, and a go-get-it attitude, all right? That's what he's bringing into this fight with this young phenom, Jared Anderson, okay? So now let's break down the skill set. Now, I told you he's going to meet him with the physicality, the grown man strength. When he gets hit, he isn't looking for... Look, this is going to be like the fight with Satterfield that... So I seen him fight 5 times on ESPN because he fought Satterfield as well, and I'm talking about Jared Anderson, okay? He's not going to be able to hit this guy with a body shot and he just lays down early. It's not going to be that, all right? He's only fought about 12 rounds, Anderson, and I think Kingsley fought about 23 rounds as a pro so far. They're both 7 fights in, all right? Now, I will say this. You break down the skill set. Look, it's funny because both of these guys kind of go lefty to righty. That's ironic now when Anderson does it. I think he's doing it in a more strategic way because, again, more ring experience, and it looked like he had tougher times in it. If you go watch his amateur fights as opposed to his pro fights, besides probably Rodney Hernandez, looked like he had a tougher time in the amateurs facing some of them cats than he has on a pro. All right, but when he goes from lefty to righty, it seems more strategic for Jared, right? Like I seen when he fought it was Satterfield he fought, right? Now he's standing in orthodox. He hit Satterfield with a left hook from the orthodox stance. Then he changed southpaw because then Satterfield kind of was putting his elbow down to block it. I was thinking he'll go upstairs and throw a left hook upstairs probably, but no, he just switched southpaw so he can really get a good angle to land on that side of the body that he was hurting Satterfield on, right? That's strategic to me stylistically. Okay, I broke it down like that. Let me switch this way so I get a better angle. And he was mixing up head and body attacks. Now, Anderson, what I noticed is he does fight at the one speed sometimes where he'll chop you down. Kind of reminds me of Errol Spence almost, the way he does it. He just it's, instead of throwing flurries, it's like he just chops you down. Scraping hook to the body. Hard straight upstairs. Steps in with a hard jab to the pit of the stomach. Straight left hook. It's like he fights in that rhythm where it's like choppy. It's where he's like chopping you up punch by punch, right? But then he does have the ability to be elusive from the outside, use his jab, and he did that against Hernandez. Once he went in there and tried to chop Hernandez up a little bit, he used his jab, stayed on the outside, and then pop shot a little bit, and then went in there and then broke him down with that style that he likes to use. All right, seems like he gets off when he comes in and just tries to chop you up as opposed to standing on the outside. I think he's much more effective and much more offensive minded when he's chopping you up coming forward. All right, but that showed you the wits that he has that, hey, man, I'm going to respect this guy. He respects Hernandez and the fact that Hernandez have been in there with Kalnacki and upset LaRon Mitchell. Then he upset the other African 17-0 with 17 knockouts prospect. I forget his name. He's been in there, right? He took a Jagba deep into their fight, made him work. So that was a guy with some experience. And Anderson, Jared went in there and just took care of him, man. Like, he really didn't have no experience. You know what I'm saying? He just chopped him up. And now, Rodney did show some resistance, and I will commend him for that, right? Now Ibeh with him, he goes lefty to righty, but it just seems more of like him just being out of position, him just like, hey, I'm gonna just try this, I'm gonna just try lefty now, I'm gonna just try orthodox now. It's like he just thinking on the fly, right? Still gaining this ring experience. Like it almost like his is like accidental when he does it. But the dude can fucking punch, man. He got some heavy hands. He was backing Guido up. Guido was tasting them hooks and them, overhand rights coming from unorthodox positions and stances. It was backing him up. And Guido was doing everything technically right, keeping his hands up, using his jab, pivoting the way they teach you to pivot. He was doing all this fundamentally sound stuff, and then Ibeh just take a step back and just throw a flurry and hurt him. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, Guido Vianello's doing all this fundamentally sound stuff, and Ibeh is landing hard and cut him and everything with this unorthodox approach, where he's doing everything wrong technically, pulling back with his head up, but he's tough and he's more athletic. And I think his coming into this fight though, what's been helping him is that element of surprise, coming in as a late replacement, people really not knowing you, even though you were on ESPN, nobody's really looking like that unless you're really digging. You know what I mean? But that element of surprise is gone. He's not going to be able to bring that into the ring against Jared Anderson. He knows what he's dealing with. He knows this guy's awkward and he's strong and he's more athletic than people may think. Big physical guy, man. Now, where I think he's going to have trouble, and I'm going to get to the comments in a second. I'm just trying to cook and get it all out, then I'm coming here, all right? And I'm going to read y'all's comments. But where I think it's going to get tricky, and this is where I'm going with Jared Anderson to win this later on in the fight, and I think it's going to be a firefight. I think he's going to come out, he's going to respect him, he's going to use his jab, but there's lapses in fights for Kingsley where he wants to rest, right? Anderson's going to pick up on that. He's not going to let him rest. He's going to walk him down strategically and do it smart. Not the way Hernandez was doing with trying to walk him down behind a high guard and taking shots and not really throwing nothing. But no, at the same time, no, you will have your opportunities on Jared because he will give them to you because he likes to bang. If you like to bang, you're going to give opportunities. He really likes, so he can box from outside, but he really likes to bang. That's when Kingsley's going to have his opportunities. However, there's points in fights where he wants to rest, where he'll go backwards, and where that awkwardness may play against him, not having that fundamental technique and skill set to get out the way circle and rest with your jab. He likes to rest with literally his hands down, breathing and getting a rest. You know what I'm saying? But he's tough because I seen him get pressed and he will fight out of that. If you approach him, he's like a wounded dog. He will fight his way out of it, right? He will throw lunging and leaping hooks and overhands. So you got to be careful. But this is where Jared Anderson's superior skill set comes in with the placement of his punches, good body work, making everything count, and making Kingsley fight when he doesn't want to. But the key to all this is his jab. Jared Anderson has a really good jab. Really good jab. That's what was busting up Hernandez when he fought him. The guy with all that experience, it was the jab. I know the glamorous shots was the hooks and the overhands and the uppercuts and all that, but his jab was killing him. Hernandez, that is. It was Anderson's jab. Good hand speed, good reflexes. Look, I think it could be some shaky moments in this fight for him, but I think he'll find it. And one thing about Kingsley, I'm keeping it real. Again, he's only been pro for 16 months, man. Okay? Is the one thing that I did notice in the Guido Vianello fight, even though I thought he won the fight, I thought he gave away that 6th round because he was tired. And then the other fight that he had, what was the other guy? It was the same thing. Was it the Patrick Melata fight? It was the same thing. Towards the end, a little bit winded, a little bit tired. Now, you may say, Mr. Boxing, is because, hey, man, this dude ain't getting good training camps. He's coming in, you know, they're calling him up literally a week before the fight, a couple of days before the fight. So maybe with this, going into this, he's been in training camp a little bit longer, and he's kind of looking, him and his people looking at his career like, hey, man, one good win, we may start getting pushed by ESPN. I mean, this is our 4th time on their network, albeit they're bringing us in as an opponent. But hey, I've made the best of these opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this training camp would do him justice, and maybe we'll see what Kingsley Ibeh closer to him being at his best for just at this stage of his career. But I'm gonna go with Anderson, man. All right, I know I was going on a lot, but I want to just get that all out. All right, so let me see what's in here. My man Haplotype was good. My man Trick Noty says, Mr. Boxing, did you check us out last week when we had Fred Zakendo on Drew's show? Nah, I missed it. I didn't know it was going to be on Drew's channel, bro. But I did see Fred's on Kind of Local Sports the other day. But I'm going to check that one out. I'm going to go to Drew's channel and check that out. All right. Now, this fight with Jared Anderson and Kingsley Ibeh is coming up February 13th. Going to be on ESPN, man. Now, before that, February 5th, you got 9-0. Hasim Rahman taking on Alejandro De La Torre. Hasim Rahman's son is 9-0. All right. So can't wait to see them. February 17th, you got Gentleman George Arias. I'm just going over some heavyweights that are in action. All right. You got Gentleman George Arias, the Dominican prospect, 15-0, taking on Joel Cotto. Cotto, I haven't seen him since he got knocked out the ring. That was like a meme against Cassius Chaney. I believe that was on ESPN as well. That's going down February 17th, George Arias, and that will be on Showtime, all right? February 20th, on the Broner undercard, you got Otto Wallen taking on Dominic Brazil. That's going to be a good fight. Wallen seems like he's going to be very aggressive. Just, you know, him, even though it was a loss, he's still riding high from that fight with Tyson Fury, and he picked up a victory against Travis Kaufman. And even in the Nick Guevas fight, before the Fury fight, he was coming out fighting aggressive, more aggressive than I seen him coming up as a Swedish prospect when he was kind of fighting off his back foot a little bit more. But he seems like he wants to come forward and be aggressive and be fan-friendly. And we know how Dominic Brazil fights. Win, lose, or draw, we know what he comes to do. Although I did see Mansour back him up a little bit, a smaller guy. I did see Mansour back him up. We know AJ was just too much for him. But in a nutshell, he does try to come get it at win, lose, or draw. The Gono fight sticks out. You know what I mean? So, and this would be Brazil's first fight coming back since that Deontay Wilder devastating knockout. Okay, so that's taking place February 20th. Also February 20th, not televised, Zhan Kosobutsky. He is a Kazakhstan heavyweight, 14-0 with 13 knockouts. Just want to get his name out there. He's taking on Pavel Sauer. Sauer's a guy, you've seen him fight Philippe Herkovic and Huey Fury and Jermaine Franklin. All right. February 20th, also on DAZN, Johnny Fisher, UK heavyweight, making his debut against Matt Gordon. Johnny Fisher, 21 years old, about 6'5", about 245. He's just one of them dudes, man, that's turning pro, has some amateur background, but he got a lot of sparring. He's one of them guys that You really ain't heard of him, but he's young and he's sparred Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois. He's pretty much sparring everybody in the damn UK. All right. Also, February 20th, you got Timothy Moten. Speaking of AJ, was in AJ's camp, preparing him for the Ruiz, the second fight. Lasted the whole training camp, didn't get beat up and sent home. 6-0 Timothy Moten. Opponent will be announced soon. February 27th, you got Willis Meehan, 9-0, taking on Hunter Sam. Hunter Sam's, journeyman, been in there with some everybody, knows how to survive. Willis Meehan, the son of early 2000s heavyweight contender Cali Meehan. He's 9-0, heavy-handed young kid, man. So he'll be in action. Then February 27th, Joseph Parker versus Junior Fa, and I believe that's going to be on the Zone. I believe it is, or maybe ESPN, but I know it's going to be. I know we'll be able to watch it. All right, good fight. History between the two, 2-2 in the amateurs. Fa's undefeated. His biggest test thus far. We know about Joseph Parker. Probably still has the fastest hands in the heavyweight division. Also, February 27th, Zhilei Zhang, the two-time Olympian. I know he won the silver in 2008 and lost to. Did he lose to AJ in 2012? I think he did in the Olympics. But anyways, he'll be in action. I believe he's about 22-0, I think Zhilei Zhang is. But he's taking on Jerry Foster. It's going to be a good fight. Foster's a tough dude, crafty, southpaw, tough. Been in there with Jermaine Franklin. That was a good fight. The Takam fight. Takam out-hustled him, won by decision. He did get knocked out by Gerald Washington back in the day, and then he lost the decision to Hunter. So he's been knocked out once, and he's crafty dude, all right? March 5th, on the Fight app, you got Jermaine Franklin coming back against Ron Guerrero. Robert Sims is going to be on that fight card as well. March 6th, the big one on the Zone, Povetkin White 2. Then you got Fabio Worley, who I always say this, man, but he reminds me of Tyrell Biggs. Just the way he fights kind of gives me that Tyrell Biggs feel. All right, that's going down March 6th on the Zone. Then March 20th, Arslanbek Makhmudov will be on the card March 20th out there in Dallas. And I forget who the hell's the headliner. Damn, I forget. But you guys, you know about that card. You know who's headlining. All right, so he'll be, hopefully they televise Makhmudov's fight. He's a heavy-handed Russian fighter, big dude. Knocked out Jonathan Rice and a few other guys that are hard to knock out for prospects. Jonathan Rice is one of them. There's a few other guys too. All right, so just giving you guys a quick rundown on that. And see what you guys got to say about this Ibeh versus, man, you know who Ibeh reminds me of, bro? Fred Cassie. With the awkward left to righty, when they turn left to righty, you don't know if they meant to do it or if they did it on accident because their feet are out of place. Kind of reminds me of him, man. And Cassie's one of them dudes, where the decision against Brazil. Who did Fred Cassie fight that were close? That could have went either way. I believe it was Brazil and was it Brazil? No, it was Areola and somebody else, man. But Cassie could have got two of them that could have went his way. Like around that, like 2016, 2017, I believe. It was the Areola fight. All right, Bruce goes. Hey, Jesus M says Andy has faster hands than JP. Yeah. I mean, I think it's debatable. I've been saying those guys been 1 and 2 to me, man, for about 6-7 years now here on YouTube. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's debatable between those two. You got some youngsters coming up though, man. So, but as of right now, I say Parker and Ruiz probably still has the fastest hand speed. I mean, Jesus M says this could be a spoiler. Yeah, it could be, but we will see. Big Nick, what's good, man? Carlos Hernandez says, what about the dude who made his professional debut and won last night on PBC on Fox Event 1? I think he was good. I missed that fight, man. Jesus M says, this is a trap bout for Jared. It's interesting. Can be Dread, shout out, what's good, bro? From New Jersey up in the building. Derek Bailey, what's up? Jesus M says, Hernandez is tough. And he got stopped. Yeah, he's very tough. Jesus M says, Sonny Kanto versus Jared Anderson late in the year. Both that'd be good. Because Kanto's the guy they're trying to push as well. Retros for Life 79 Boxing says Brazil going to stop wilding. It's going to be a good one, man. And we got to see how Brazil's going to bounce back from getting treated like that. Not everybody can just, just bounce back, man. So we will definitely see. But he's had time to heal and regroup, Jesus M says Andy has more combos with the speed. That's debatable, man. Shit, man. If you seen them, and I know hitting the bag and being in the gym is and being in the ring is different. But you look at their mitt work and bag work, man. JP is right there with them. Now, as far as in the midst of a damn fight going on and punches coming back at you, it's totally different, right? Getting punches aiming for your damn face. I think it's about debatable, man. It's just JP sometimes he's not as aggressive as Andy with it. Because Parker, man, I wish he would have showed his speed a lot more on the inside against White and against Joshua. Well, the ref in the Joshua fight wouldn't let him and AJ fight on the inside. That was some bullshit, But whoever you pick, man, I could see either one. Both really good hand speed. But shit, if you look at their head-to-head matchup, it was JP with his jab, and a lot of people thought that Ruiz should have got the nod, but JP was a little bit quicker to the punch with the jab, fighting off the back foot. Jesus M said, "What's my thought about Vlad Sarenko? Good fighter. I like Vlad. Explosive. Now he did get hurt. What was that? The first round of damn, who was he fighting, man? What was that guy's name? Damn, what was that guy's name that hurt Vlad Sarenko? He made him. Damn near he buckled him. He damn near dropped him. He buckled him. So he had to go through some adversity in that one. But and that was in the first round. I'm not sure if Vlad is still working with not Sugar Hill, but James Lee Bashir. I'm not sure if he's still working with him. But I like Vlad. Just he's one of them guys I want to see a lot more of, and can't wait till he steps up and fight a notable journeyman like a Kamil Sokolowski or a John Bolden or somebody like that, a Jonathan Rice, hell, a Rodney Hernandez, somebody like that. Tone Bangers was good, bro. He said, "What did I miss?" Oh man, you probably not to catch it on replay, Tone. I didn't just talked about my thoughts about this Kingsley Ibeh fight coming up with Jared Anderson. Man, I know Jared Anderson is a fan. I'm starting to see him. A lot of people getting behind the youngster and all that and thinking he's the next, best thing. But hey, man, still got some work to do. He definitely looks the part, and I've heard some great things about him. Tyson Fury camps and all that, but good amateur background. But this Kingsley Ibeh cat, man, not somebody to be taken, you shouldn't shortchange yourself taking this dude lightly. But just my breakdown on that. Jesus M says, "Have I seen Steven Torres?" Yeah, you talking about the big, tall Puerto Rican fighter? Yeah, I've seen him fight. Damn, I know a lot of these dudes, man. Sometimes I surprise myself with some of these obscure ass fighters, man. And some of them are up in, they're 2-0, 3-0. But damn, man, sometimes I surprise myself with some of these damn dudes that I've heard of or I've seen some amateur footage or something. But that just goes to show, man, me doing my due diligence, but also just how the world has evolved with how we're able to get information. Because some of this information, man, to know who some of these obscure guys are, you got to know other trainers and know other people from different cities that are in the gym that know some of these guys. That, hey, man, I heard you fighting. I'm making up a guy. Buster Brown out of Boston, Massachusetts. Better be careful with him. I seen him in Larry Holmes' camp. You know what I'm saying? He brought, man. Like you have to be in the know and know guys. But now with social media and it's just different now, man. So I'm blessed about that. I would not be able to get as much information out to you guys, man, if it wasn't for Facebook and Instagram and BoxRec and all these different platforms, man. But it takes a lot of work, digging these guys up and taking the time to watch their fights. Because a lot of guys don't want to fucking watch Kingsley Ibeh's second pro fight. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really wants to watch Jared Anderson, the second round of the U.S. Nationals back when he was an amateur. You know what I mean? So, and I appreciate y'all, taking this information in, man, and, giving a damn about some of these guys and watching them on their journey to heavyweight titles, right? Yo, I went on my other channel, man, my Mr. Boxing Today channel without the two. All those videos are on private, and I built that channel in 2009, 2010. And I'm looking at I got and I'm thinking about re-releasing some of these vids because they're interesting heavyweight talk vids from 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, man. I'm talking about Anthony Joshua's, recap after his second pro fight and, speaking about Wilder in 2013 and 2014 and, breaking down Povetkin fights and Helenius fights and Duopa fights before they were known to some of you guys, before they fought the Wilders and uh, the Furies and all these guys, man. So thinking about re-releasing some of those videos, man. Just interesting how things have evolved. And even back then, in 2004, 5, I was saying then, like, hey, man, the division is about to turn over. The Tony Thompsons and even the Klitschko's and the Thompsons and uh, some guys are still around, like Povetkin, and some guys are still around. But I was saying how the next wave, these new wave of guys, man, are going to start making noise. And I was bringing up Dillian White and AJ and Wilder and Charles Martin and Dominic Brazil. I was bringing up those new wave of guys, right? Because everybody was used to the Pianettas and the Edmund Gerbers. I'm trying to think of some obscure guys. Even though Marius Wack is still around, but I was saying there's a new wave. Joseph Parker was the guy I was talking about. And then these guys go on to win titles and fight unifications. And now they're some of the top guys that we talk about, right? So now I'm saying this. I feel as if there's that new wave coming. I know everybody loves Wilder and love Fury and love AJ and think they're never going to lose. Okay, that's fine and dandy, bro. But there's a new wave coming. I'm telling you. I give it about two solid years where you're going to see these guys get knocked off. Dillian White going to lose again. AJ going to lose again. Fury going to taste the loss. Wilder going to fuck around and lose again. I'm telling you, the Makhmedovs, they're not just big stiffs like you guys think, because everybody thought AJ and Wilder and all them guys were big stiffs coming up, and they'll never beat Klitschko and all that, and Ortiz was coming to light, and all these other guys, man. And they, start the even when Lucas Brown was coming around and he ended up beating Chagayev. There's a new wave coming, I'm telling you, man. So be on the lookout for Jared Anderson and some of these other guys, man, that I talk about on the channel. I'm telling you, that new wave is coming. It's going to be about 2 years, and these other guys will start getting knocked off. Diamond Newman, I appreciate that, and I certainly will. I appreciate that, man. Tone Banger says Jared Anderson still a work in progress. Oh, man, Lawrence Williams, what's good, bro? But, hey, man, I'm going to let y'all, hey, you guys make sure before I get off here, make sure you go to the poll, and it's my fifth installment of Heavyweight Performer of the Night. Pretty much the weekend, because sometimes bouts are on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but pretty much Heavyweight Performer of the Night. It's the 5th one I'm doing. Had I started this in 2010, 2009, when I first started YouTube, I'll probably be in like the 900 fucking installment of this. But I just thought of it, you know what I'm saying, of some months back. And there's only really 2 significant heavyweight fights. I did see that Ronnie Hines, the 9-0 heavyweight prospect out of Cleveland, fought, but I didn't see any footage. So I just put up the Trevor Bryan's win against Stavern, and then obviously Coffey and Rock. All right. So you guys go ahead and vote for that, man. Trying to think who was the last winner. I know Michael Hunter's won it. AJ has won it. Luis Ortiz has won it. And I want to say, yeah, Joe Joyce, the night he beat Dubois, won it. All right. So for this poll, it's only 2 fights to choose from. I did have other on there. If you've seen another heavyweight fight that I don't know about, that was in the basement and somewhere in Wyoming, or it was in some gymnasium in Germany or some shit, and I didn't get to see it, you did, hey, put that on there. Hey, say, man, it was this other guy, this 2-0 prospect from Saudi Arabia that you don't know about. Shit, I want to learn too. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, I'm gonna get off here. Let me see a few more and I'm gonna get off, man. But I appreciate y'all showing up, so I'm gonna do the right thing by just reading these comments before I bounce off here. Lawrence Williams says Coffey versus Washington maybe next on Helenius Kalnacki 2 card March 6th. And that's so crazy, Lawrence, because I was just talking about I would love to see Coffey fight Washington on his comeback fight. I literally said that when I was doing the blow-by-blow yesterday for the fight, post-fight. So that would be a really good test. Really good test. Washington has a better skill set from the outside, and he's going to be in shape, and he's not going to be intimidated. Not to say that Rock was intimidated, but you know what I mean? Interesting, man. Both guys, that's interesting, Coffey and Washington, if they were to fight. Both guys who've done some military time, they come from that school of, guys that learn their crafts in the damn military, like a Leon Spinks and Ken Norton Jr., and who else? Rocky Marciano. And, those long line of heavyweights that learn their craft in the service. All right, so Washington, I believe Washington was in the Navy. I think he was in the Navy. I know he played football at USC, and then you have Michael Polite Coffey, who was in the Marines, that served 8 years. So that it'd be a good matchup right there, man. And Washington, even after the loss to Martin, he's still going around and being in camps. And I seen him in the Anthony Joshua camp when Joshua was training for Pulev. All right. And I follow Gerald on social media. He stays in great shape, man. He's always running and doing something. He's always doing something. So that win against Helena is starting to look a lot better, man. You know what I'm saying? That win that Gerald, and actually Gerald scored that victory here in Minnesota. You know what I mean? Down at the Armory downtown Minneapolis. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't able to go to that damn fight, man. But Bruce Gold, salute, man. And then let me get to this last one. Xavier, the boxer nerd, says, why did you put your other channel on private? Oh, no, it's just because when okay, so 2015, shout out to Blood, or you guys know him as Retro's boxing documentaries, but Blood Boxing was telling me, like, bro, when I was on YouTube, I went 6 years, y'all, without knowing that you can get paid. I literally didn't know that you can get paid on YouTube. And Blood was like, man, your views going up. And it was a private conversation. Well, it wasn't, so private, you guys can't know it. But we talked behind the scenes, rather offline. I won't say private, but it was offline. And he was just telling me, like, bro, you making, your channel's growing. Like, you might as well just get paid for it. I didn't even know you can get paid. So I tried to set up the AdSense on that channel, and it wouldn't let me do it. And at this time, so I'm like, fuck, man. So, and I had like probably like 1 million views on that page. And that was when like 1 million views meant something. Just having 1,000 subs meant something back in them days. So I want to get paid for it. So it wouldn't let me set it up. I don't know what was wrong with it. Just wouldn't let me set it up. So then I ended up starting a new channel. And man, I'm gonna tell you, bro, it hurt my heart to leave my first channel, man, because I was sitting there like, damn, man, all my views. I never thought I'd get 1 million views again, man. I was holding on to them 1,000 subs and views. I was like, damn, I work hard for this channel. So I just put those on private so I can direct all the traffic to my new channel. You know what I mean? But I got some gems on that channel, though, man. I broke down a lot of fights from, the heavyweight action from 11, 12, 2011, 12, 9, 13 in real time. So it's funny to listen to me talk about what was going on in real time with those videos. So then I switched over to this, and man, lo and behold, I'm down there, even when I started this channel, I didn't get active on it and really start taking it, start building it up until about the middle of 2016. And I pretty much amassed I'm close to 10 million views on this channel. I think 9.5 million. And I pretty much amassed all those views in like 3 years, man. Because anybody that knows me, they know I'm not as active as I used to be. Because bro, in like Xavier, like in like 2016, 17, 18, I was dropping like 7, 8 videos a day, getting 1,000+ views on every video a day. That's why when I come back and I do vids now and I get 3, I mean, I'll still get some good views. Like I had 15,000 on a vid not too long ago on the live. I'll still get them, but it was like, and it's because I was more consistent back then in 2016, 17, but I was getting 3,000 views, 1,000 views, 5,000, 2,000 on every video. But when you're not consistent and you're not keeping it up and you take, absence of 3 months absence, 2 months, 3, that shit starts. I don't give a damn how good of a blogger you are on here. It will start to affect your views. So I just got to get back active, man. And if it gets back to those views, good. If not, hey, I started YouTube, man, just to talk boxing and didn't even know that you can get paid the first damn 6 years I was on here. You know what I mean? So the little pennies that they've given me, I've been appreciative of them, but I just love boxing talk, man. Hey, Seuss, I promise I'm going to answer this last one. I see my man Ernest and Bruce Gold's up in here, and they talking, see some old school names they throwing around. Ray Mercer and Bone Crusher Smith. What y'all boys talking about, man? Bringing up Ray and Bone Crusher. Bruce Gold says Coffey was winning by a landslide. Yeah. All right, Jesus, you said, what's my opinion about Bakadir Jolalov? Really good up-and-coming fighter, very athletic. I know he knocked out, what's the USA super heavyweight that he knocked out in the US in an amateur tournament last year? Ricardo Torres, is that his name? Richard Torres? I know he knocked him out crucial, man. But heavy hands and athletic, want to see more of them. Pretty much, man. Heavy hands, athletic, want to see more of them. I'll follow him on Instagram as well. He's always putting up footage of him sparring and hitting the bag, or not sparring, but hitting the bag and working out. But heavy hands, I want to see more of them. Ernest Terry. Oh, guys developed in the Army. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Ray Mercer was developed in the Army. You're right. Yep. Forgot about that. And also remember Ray beating Tommy Morrison in the Olympic trials, and that's how he got to the Olympics. I remember that as well. Ray Mercer, gold medalist. Remember. Ernest says, do you take the new WBC semi-heavyweight division seriously? You talking about the Bridgerweight? Hell no. And shouts out to Oscar Rivas. He is the, according to their rankings, WBC, they have him rated #1 Bridgerweight fighter in the world. Hey, shouts out to Robert Sims. Is gonna, like I said, he'll probably be on the February 20th card. Clarissa Shields. He's out of Michigan. I think he's out of Saginaw. And he actually came out and made it public. They put it on Boxing Scene and everything. And I actually talked about it as well and put it up on the community section that Robert Sims called out Oscar Rivas for the title. And they have Sims like rated number 15. And Rivas is #1. I forgot who's #2. I forgot who was #2, man. Maybe it was Dryashoff or one of them cats. But shouts out to Sims like, hey, man, fuck it. Y'all want to make this belt? I'll try to win it. Hey, Rivas, I'll fight you. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, I appreciate you fellas joining me, man. Like I said, if I don't do any commentary videos of me talking or going live, I will be throwing up footage of heavyweights from their training camps, from them being in the gym. I will throw those quick videos up because sometimes I don't think you need to hear me talk all the damn time. You know what I'm saying? Just throw the footage up of these guys in camp. You can see for yourself what they look like, what their physiques look like, what they look like in camp, what they're doing, what they're not doing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always active heavily on the community section. All right. Sometimes, man, things can get redundant for me. There's only so much that can go on in one division. All right. Because I only cover one division. Yes, I watch the other divisions, but heavyweight is a love of mine, man. And to me, it's the heavyweights and then it's everything else. All right. Until next time, man, y'all be good. I'm gone.